Think we're live.
Hello.
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 What's going on, you guys?
Hey guys.
Let's see. Can you guys give me a quick shout out to let me know that you can hear Amy's voice just fine? Because it's been back and forth the last couple weeks. I want to make sure it's good before we start.
Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
The hair. Thanks. Thank you for noticing the hair. Oh, Amy. Hair. I'm sorry.
Do I normally not do hair? This is just normal puffy hair.
Unbelievable.
Puffy hair. You need to take off your hat and show your hair. I have no hat on today. Oh, he's gonna. Yeah. The hair.
The hair that needs a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Haircut Saturday. That'll be the L for next week.
Oh. Or the W. Depends.
It'll be an L because I'm liking it.
You like the long, flowing locks.
All I've got to say is I've laid down the gauntlet. You know who has a hair reveal now. I did mine.
Oh, true. True. And I did a massive hair reveal. There's so much of it here today.
But you guys, I don't even know the list. Bifox, Din, Nez, Cuddle, Boom King, Zooted, Joey, Liz. Who'd I miss?
I don't know. I'm not sure what we're
There's
talking
probably.
about.
I was just shouting out everybody who came into this right on time.
Oh,
So
yes.
Bifox, Cuddle Boo was here. Broxy was here.
Broxy.
You guys, if I missed your
Don't forget
name,
my Broxy.
if I missed your name, it's
You
because
can't
there's
forget my Broxy.
too many of you in chat right now. All right.
Thank you so much, you guys. And Dutch.
And Dutch, 510. He knows. Dutch knows the game. There's an intro. There's a little bit of chit chat, and then we go live. Dutch doesn't like to waste a lot of extra time.
He's got drinks to drink.
All right. If you zombie, I knew there was somebody. Zombie, I knew there was somebody.
Zombie. Oh, wait. Aw, I'm sorry, Zombie. I wasn't honestly, I literally couldn't get chat to pull up, so I'm late to the game.
Zombie, you will be honorary VIP at the end of the show. I will make you VIP in the channel. Skojo 5% louder. Okay. Thanks, Nez.
Oh, I'm loud today. It figures.
It figures.
It figures. Is that a reference to music?
That is a reference to music. Imagine that. How's that, Nez?
Who knew?
Who knew?
A little topic preview.
Topic du jour. Do you need to refill that before we start? Production had extra alcohol tonight. I don't know what's up. They're trying to make it up because they've screwed up in the past.
I think that's plenty for an hour, no?
It is. Oh my God, Skojo. If we get up in the middle, you'll know why. I got to refill the jar. Oh, I've got mine right here.
If I sneak away to my decanter.
I need ice. All right.
I do have a decanter. I'm not allowed to lie. I'm fancy like that.
Snooty snoot. You know what I heard? Great strat. Sorry, we'll get going in just a second. I don't remember where I saw it, but the guy said, "Oh, it was on TikTok." He's a bartender on TikTok, and he always talks about drinks to make, how to go into bars. He said you buy a decanter, a whiskey decanter, and what you do is as your bottle gets down to where you don't have enough really to fill up a glass, you dump that in the decanter. And then you do that with all of the whiskeys as you get down to the bottom, and you have a house-made, unique to you whiskey
Gross.
blend.
No.
Everybody, the comments in the thing were like, "Holy cow! I've done this for years. It's the best thing. You'd never understand how good it is. People
I'm
love it."
100% doing that now. Thank you, actually.
I ordered it I ordered it on
Production
Amazon.
did not.
Infinity bottle.
Din.
Infinity bottle. Din, that's exactly right, Din. That's exactly what it's called. Have you done it? Glass that size gone in 5 minutes around me. Yeah, we're trying to be responsible.
Responsible.
You don't see the pre and post show.
I mean, you don't know how many I had before this.
All right.
So, all right, I do have 2 decanters, so I can have one for my good whiskey of the moment, and then one for I just keep dumping in my, I won't call it backwash, but
Some of us,
Pre-backwash.
some of us are lucky just to have the daggone alcohol in the house. We drink it a little too quick. All right. Does it also work with rum?
It does. I would assume so, Dutch. I would think.
Let us know. Can you explain the taste of it as well? Okay, we're getting way off track. This is a topic for another show.
All right, we haven't even started yet, and we've started.
If you guys are new to the show, I think most of you've been here, but if you haven't been, just really quick, we're going to record this because we put it out on all of the podcast platforms. So we'll go silent here in a second. We're going to click a record button, and then we really do the podcast part of things. So during that time, we don't do a ton of interaction with chat. We see chat going the whole time.
We're trying.
Please add your comments. Talk along as we go along. We love to see it. We'll respond to you as we can in chat. But really, we've got a subject. We've got some topics to go over. Production gave us a pretty tight schedule tonight, so we're going to go through this. A lot of Q&As came in late, so some of those Q&As may get postponed to another show. But you guys, tons of support this time. So with that said, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
As will be.
As ready as will be. What are we talking about again? Oh, okay. We got it.
Check your notes.
Check your notes. All right, hang on a second. I do have my notes pulled up. I should put another ice in there. Okay, we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number 4. There's 4 of them. We made it to 4th edition of Over the Hump, our little podcast brought to you by Amy Beth. That's your cue to say hello.
Hello.
And Skojo. That's new. It's a new twist. Next week we may even have some music behind it and some cues, so you never know what's going to happen. But welcome to the 4th edition of the podcast, Over the Hump, where we try to get you over the work week hump, over the hump in terms of university, school papers that you've got to do, over the hump in terms of just personal matters you've got going on. We're cruising to the weekend, whatever it may be in your life. We try to get once a week, give you a little diversion from what's going on, try to sit back and have some fun, and encourage participation from you guys. And with that said, we get a lot of participation, especially from the Twitch community that's out there. The first thing that we want to do each week is do a couple shout outs. Now we could sit here and shout out 50 people, 60 people, 250 people. We could sit here and shout them all out. But each week we want to recognize one from each of us, and then we'll do a little salute and cheers to you. So Amy, I'll let you go first on who you'd like to shout out this week.
I can't shout out 3 people is what you're saying?
No, I'm sorry. It's against the rules.
Can I shout out 2 people? Do we really have to pick just one?
It's so hard. It's super hard. Yeah.
I'm like, no, then okay. All right. I have to pick somebody tonight to shout out to. And there were so many whose names I can't say because you're going to be shouted out next. But I mean, next week or the week after. But somebody who's actually been a huge, huge supporter, not only of this, but of all the streams in our Twitch community, who also just happens to be just a beautiful, lovely human being who's super supportive in every possible way. So I have to give some love tonight to Bye Fox, and just because of everything, whether it's creating fun art for us or just being here when we need her, it has been amazing. She has been amazing, and it has been wonderful to get to know her. So I have to say that had to be my choice tonight. But there was I want to shout out 3 or 4 people. So anyway.
I'm totally with you. I think Bye Fox is an excellent shout out. I commend you on that selection. She's super supportive all the time in our streams and everything that we do, as well as the community.
Always.
So yeah, that's great.
And such a love. Yeah.
So yeah, out of the others, a billion that we had to pick from, it was really tough to try to decide one this week because you guys are so awesome out there. So I have to go along similar lines, somebody who is in not only my stream, but in the community streams, in all of them. I think he may possibly be in every stream on Twitch, because no matter where I go, there he is. And I don't know how he does it, because he says that when he's streaming, which he does almost 7 days a week, that he cannot watch somebody else. He can't lurk because of his internet connection. Yeah, I don't believe him anymore. Anyway, I want to give a special shout out to the Zooted 420. Yeah, super supportive to the community. Really glad he's got the webcam going on his Twitch channel. And Zooted, we appreciate you and everything you do, and I think we speak probably for the rest of the community in the same. So tonight in the glass we have Jameson Black Barrel, among one of our favorite together. So cheers to you, Amy Beth, and cheers to you,
guys.
Bye Fox and Zooted, and the rest.
Bye Fox and Zooted, thank you guys. And trust me, there were so many others of you out there that I want to just shout out right now, but I won't. I'm trying to behave tonight.
Trust me, like me, we want to shout out everybody. So in weeks to come, no worries. We've got things planned, especially now that we got a crap ton of questions in there. So that's awesome.
We do. Thank you guys.
All right. So the next segment that we have that we want to do every single week is wins and losses for the week, because we think it's important for you to also go back and take your past week and go, okay, what went right? What was the win of the week? Also, what was the loss of the week? Is something happened that you can learn from, or did something happen that you just need to say, you know what? It happened. Let's get over it. Let's move on. Let's get over the hump and move on to the next week. So with that said, I think we should let's start with wins this week. Normally we start with losses. So I think we start with wins. And I'm actually really anxious to hear your win, because I kind of know what it is. So I want you to go first.
I feel like everyone knows what my win is. I have a double win. So I don't have them yet. But you guys all knew my sad tale last week, and it was really depressing, and I'm sorry for the depressing podcast last week. But I do have 2 little kitties coming to live with me.
Wow.
Probably tomorrow, maybe like tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, in that time frame. I have a little if you go into our Discord, you'll see them, because I posted pictures because I'm really excited. I know it's not going to be easy. I've had a lot of cats in my life, so I know there's going to be a process, but I have the dignified, as Ty says. So I have to shout out Ty the Rogue again, because he loves the dignified Mr. Jefferson. So Jefferson is
That's absolutely
my boy, my man, the one I went on a date with this week. So I had a date to meet him, fell madly in love with him, and he's coming home with me. But he had to get neutered first.
What a prerequisite. I don't know if does that go with all the males in Amy's world, or is this just for pets?
Just for pets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Just letting the guys know out there. You don't have to be neutered to come hang out with me. But yeah, no. So Mr. Jefferson does need to be neutered because that's the world of cats. And he's lovely, and he's the most beautiful whiskers, and he has beautiful eyebrow whiskers, and he's fabulous and gorgeous. And I can't wait to have him here with us. And then my other cat is the lovely, the stunning, the absolutely mysterious Possum, who is all black cat, except she has a little star on her neck that's white, because every beautiful lady needs a diamond. And she has a little diamond on her neck, and she has the biggest green eyes, and that's why they call her Possum, because they're like constantly surprised. But she came from a cat colony, so I'm technically fostering her to adopt. But she's got a little clipped ear, and she definitely came from the mean streets of probably like Newark, New Jersey or something. Yeah, but she's a sweetheart, but she does take a little more time to warm up, but she needs a cat in her life. So I have Mr. Jefferson to teach her the ways of being a dignified. It's sort of a little bit My Fair Lady-ish in the cat world.
Wow.
So he's going to teach her the ways, but she's probably going to teach him a thing or two as well. So there's my world. So I have these 2 fabulous cats who hopefully will get along. Please, everybody, give me the vibes, because I love them both very much, and I'm very excited. And I need companionship, which is very sad. I'm becoming a crazy cat lady, so there we go. It's okay. You guys can call me.
I feel like that's the wonderful start of some sort of Disney animated major feature film.
Of the dignified Mr. Jefferson and Possum.
That could be it. The dignified Mr. Jefferson. That could be all.
And Possum.
And the bottom. And Possum.
And Possum. Who's a little wild. She's like, if you ever saw My Fair Lady, in My Fair Lady, she's like got this Cockney English accent, and she's a little rough around the edges, and he has to turn her into a lady. So I'm kind of thinking this is my little My Fair Lady with 2 cats, because I'm a little insane, clearly. That's where we are right now.
It's fantastic.
Go on to your win.
My win does not involve any animals.
Or My Fair Lady.
Or My Fair Lady, or any sort of anything. Mine is sort of boring. In comparison, I've had I need to up my game during my weeks and to really figure out a different strategy. my, I wanted to go against the grain of what I normally do for a win for the week. So really, one thing that I successfully did over the course of the last week is finally got back into the exercise game. And I think I'd even said it in a couple streams. I'm like, yo, it's 6 o'clock. Sorry, I got to go work out and then grab some dinner.
I'm very
And
proud of you.
yeah, we're back in. So we hit 5 of the 7 days in the past week. Nothing. We're not running 50 miles. We're not exercising for 2 hours a day. But it's a start. It's the habit. Feel like we're back in the habit. Did not do anything tonight and felt like I should have done something tonight. So that fuel is going back into where, okay, I need to do this every day. So that was a big win for me, especially in the times that we're in, sitting around all the time, to get back and get motivated again. So I was really happy about that. So that's my
I'm just
short but sweet win.
by saying we're talking about you.
Oh yeah.
Me, not so much.
I consider I'm in such a habit of saying we because I love the term we, and that we is anybody, it's myself,
Inclusive,
and anybody who supports the cause. So it's a
Right.
we. I'm not an
Oh.
I don't do things on my own. Anyone who jumps into the cause, anyone who says, you started exercising. I went out and did 30 minutes on an elliptical today. That's a we now. We're in this. We're in this together. 2020.
Does it count if I'm teaching other people to be healthy?
It does. That's the we. Yeah, we're good.
One would think, as a fitness instructor, that I would be fit. Ha ha.
But the funny thing, you said
Joke's
we.
on you. Sorry.
The funny thing, you said we, like that's all through the rest of my life. I don't want to get too far off topic here, but yeah, like if I'm going to go to lunch, I don't mentally think to myself, I need to go grab some lunch. I'm like, let's go get the lunch. And it's like I've got a community of people around me all the time.
You got your posse going with you.
Maybe it's the first thing
You
that
got all
goes.
your imaginary friends going. What?
They've grown up with me since my only childhood. They've been there through the whole thing, and they don't even age. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, do we age? I think not.
I think not. We're preventing it the best way we know how.
We're trying. So, okay, so you are now giving me the incentive to get back into my very strict workout routine that I used to have.
I'm
Doesn't
I'm not
well, it's every night.
I'm not dangling the running carrot out there again, but I may have dangled the carrot out there for maybe future things to come that we can be
I'm
discussing.
just not sure we should be talking about dangling carrots and such, but okay.
It's better than a dangling participle.
It's better than a neutering.
Your poor cat.
Oh my
Wow.
poor, it wasn't my decision. I couldn't take him unless he got it.
Subject of the night. So speaking of neutering, maybe we go for the L's of the week. We know what one of the L's of the week for one of your cats is. How about our L for the week?
The dignified Mr. Jefferson's L. We know what it is. Yes. Sorry. R.I.P. Dens. I mean, sorry, Dens. I'm looking at the thing. So R.I.P. not Dens. R.I.P. The dignified Mr. Jefferson's man parts. But
Dangling participle.
my dangling participle. No, I'm actually hoping that maybe somebody out in the world of our listening group here can give me some help on why I had this horrible scam with Amazon. Okay, so I have this really crazy L that happened. It's a little bit long. I feel like I have to I gotta try to, I don't know.
This is exciting.
TR.
We're baited. We are ready.
All right, so I received 2 packages from Amazon. They came to my name. They came to my address, obviously. They were charged to my credit card. However, I did not order them. My kids did not order them. So they were not anything I wanted. They were just weird random items.
So at this point, we're thinking somebody got your credit card number, maybe hacked your Amazon account and ordered something and sent it to you.
Sent it to me.
Okay.
So that's day one. And then I was like, all right, I call Amazon and they're just like, that's weird. You had to have ordered it because it's under your account. And then I was like, they're like, so what's your email address? And I gave them my email address and they're like, oh, that's not the account it was ordered under. I'm like, this is my Prime account I've had for like 12 years. This is my only email address associated with Amazon. They're like, oh, well, there's a whole another account that has your name, your address, your credit card number, and they're ordering things. And it's under a complete, and then I couldn't, they're like, tell us all your email addresses. I'm like, I literally have one business email address and one regular email address is all I have. And neither of them were the accounts that were ordering things. So anyway, I got another thing then like a day later, and then they were ordering other things. And then I stopped them. And Amazon didn't believe that I wasn't ordering them. So they locked not only that account, but they locked my account. And they were locked. And then I also had to like lose my Amazon Chase card, which was very annoying. So I had to replace that. And I still don't know what the scam is. Like, what's the point of ordering things and sending them to me? Like things I don't want, like a beard trimmer or like a picture of a flower that just doesn't match anything. There's nothing. There was absolutely no reason I would have ordered the things that came.
Is that are those what the products were?
They were, and like a rope light, like something you would maybe put around like a ceiling, I guess. I don't even know. So and I 100% know my kids did not order them.
So it would be a picture that would be like decor in a background, along with like a rope light that could be decor in a background of somebody of someone who has a webcam and somebody who has a beard that might need to be trimmed. Is that what we're saying?
Wait, sir, did you order something?
I did not. I did not do it. But that's funny. That's what. Yeah,
it's very bizarre.
I can't think of what that scam would be.
Yeah, I heard about the porch pirate thing.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, I live in the middle of nowhere. Really, like my driveway alone, you'd have to. I mean, to order something to my house, you have to be pretty ballsy because you got to fight the bears, because I do have bears. And you also have to come up a very long driveway, and it's pretty remote, and I'm in the middle of woods. So I feel like porch pirating would be really bad. And I'm also here a lot because of my weird hours.
Or is it a test? Like, that doesn't sound like it was a ton of money. Was it a test to say, let us go in, let us order these things?
I would know because they came to my house.
But maybe it's just something they tried. They got your account or they got your card somewhere, and they said, okay, let's do this little thing and see what happens. If the box if the box stays outside, if they know where you live and the box stays outside on your porch for a week or whatever, they'll know they didn't get to pick it up. If they go in,
that's freaking me out that somebody's watching.
It's the only thing. It's the only thing I could think of. And then if they go back in another week and they log into your account and it's declined,
now I'm looking in my
I mean, I don't know what else it would be.
My shoulder. No, I've heard about that, but this is usually in a more urban or suburban area. I am rural as rural can get. I mean, really rural. Yeah, I know nobody thinks New Jersey and rural, but I'm very rural. So I just don't know why somebody would be stealing things. I mean, you'd have to work really hard, and you could very easily get caught to steal something off of my porch. My porch is a ways up, and you got to be. There's no in and out. My neighborhood's very remote, and I don't know. It's a weird thing. I know, but Amazon didn't believe me. Like, I had to actually fight with Amazon to get my own account open. I spent probably about 4 hours on the phone with them. I did get obviously my credit card was redone. I got a new credit card, but my actual Amazon account where I pay for a Prime membership, that took me, that was a fight. Like, I had to talk to multiple levels because they thought I was lying, that I wasn't actually ordering things. I'm like, I'll send them back. They're like, okay, we'll send the return slip to your email. And they're like, just confirm your email. And I'd give them my email. And they're like, well, that's not, I'm like, I know, because there's a mirror account.
That's crazy.
It was like, I felt like I was in this sort of other world of nobody's listening to me and nobody believes me and they think I'm lying, and I wasn't. And so I have this crap that I can't even send back, that I don't even want. Okay, guys out there with beards. Anyway, I don't know.
So the W next week will be, I went on eBay, I sold the flower, the beard trimmer, and the rope light for $180.
I'm just gonna keep that beard trimmer, because
You never know.
there's guys out there.
There's guys out there.
You never know. There might be a guy that needs it. Yeah, the flower picture's ugly. The
Oh
rose
wow.
blood, I feel like one of my college kids would use,
So
but
random. I wonder if it was.
it's
I
super
wonder if it
weird.
was a legit screw up on the Amazon side of things, where they something not. They're not going to tell you, "Oh crap, we messed up," and somebody ordered something and we totally messed it on our end.
No, but I feel like if that was the case, they would have fixed it immediately and not locked my account down for 3 weeks. And I was like, I need things. I have new pets coming. I have to order stuff. Give me my account back. I literally was like, please, I
Oh
need to order
man,
these specific things for my new little kitties. So
that's
that was my big
crazy.
battle.
That's
I
just
know that.
insane.
Yeah, and it was weird because I would say it was strange because when I called them, they asked me like a million questions, and one of the questions was like, "What was the date that you signed up for the Prime account?" I'm like, "The actual like
How would
month
you
and
know
year?"
that? Yeah.
I have, and then they're like, "There was this. Tell me besides your main credit card, what other credit cards on this account?" And I'm thinking, I've had like a million credit cards on my
Oh
life.
yeah.
I have no
Yep.
idea what other credit cards on. So the questions were really tough, and they were really not trusting me whatsoever, and I felt very violated by
Wow.
that.
Wow.
I was like, Amazon,
And
come on now.
I'm sure, there's some good to that in that they are trying to protect an account and they're asking a ton of questions and whatever. But at some point,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
that's
probably,
nuts. Yeah, if
yeah,
anyone knows,
like
uh,
what's a scam?
hit us up on Twitter, hit us up in our Discord. You can email us at overthehumpshow@gmail.com. Let us know. Let us know your thoughts. That's crazy. I
Hmm.
would love to know what the scam is behind that.
If you know, let me know. Because I mean, I did get my account reopened. I mean, I just like I'm not leaving this call until I can order the cat bed that I need. It was very urgent, but I did get it.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so there we go. Sorry.
That's no, that's crazy. That's what an interesting scenario. My
Yeah.
L for the week also involves Amazon, but it's probably much less of an interesting scenario. I
It's-
my big L for the week was I so okay, so occasionally late at night we might want to just like make some toast, a little bite to eat. I also had a toaster because when you have a deli sandwich for lunch and which you slice diagonally, you also toast the bread before you slice diagonally. So I've owned a toaster for a long time, not a heavy usage toaster kind of guy, but I've had a toaster laying around. So anyway, toaster breaks. You push it down, there's nothing. It's dead. It's not the plug, it's not whatever. The toaster's so cheap. There's no trying to fix it. It's okay, toaster's
Thank you,
dead.
Ness. Sorry, horizontally. Sorry, I'm not supposed to discuss chat, but I'm just like, yeah, horizontally,
We can
not
definitely get
diagonally.
into the horizontal vertical because there's
That's a whole
or
other.
diagonal. Yeah, there's a
That's a
whole
whole
other.
other.
So I've got a dead toaster. So okay, let me go ahead and go on Amazon. I order everything through Amazon. Let me go on and just order a toaster. I had a 4 slice toaster. It was 2 long slots adjacent to each other, so it wasn't 4 individual slots. But I like the more premium, wider bread for my deli sandwiches. So it's important to me that I can fit those longer slices in the slots. So anyway, let me go on Amazon. Normal Amazon strategy. You go on. It's not a car. It's not a PC. It's not a graphics card. It's a toaster.
Tis
So
a toaster.
it's a toaster. It's like any just random thing that you would buy. You need rubber
It's a
bands.
small
You
appliance.
need paper clips. You just go on. You say, "What's the best price?" Okay, click it. Let's go. Well, I
Yeah.
thought that's what was going to happen with the toaster. So I go to Amazon. I pull up toasters. And normal strat is go to Amazon recommends, look for the one that's bought by 10,000 people that has 4 to 5 stars, and just order the dumb thing. And you're done with it. That's it.
But then
Well,
you're trusting the masses, which is always dangerous.
yeah, but I feel like there is some safety in numbers, and you can go through like recent reviews and make sure there's nothing crazy in there. So I did that, and
Mhm.
it was probably an hour later. I am deep into the interwebs searching top toasters of 2020, 4 slice. at some point saying, what am I
hope it didn't hit the
doing?
dark web by then.
What is happening? I'm watching toaster unboxings. I've got a tape measure. I swear to God, I've got a tape, because on the pictures on Amazon, they'll show you the slots and they're like, okay, it's 1.5 inches wide. I don't do bagels. I don't need width. I need length. So anyway, I'm measuring the length of the thing. It says it's 5 3/4 inches. I don't know what mine is. Now I'm getting my toaster, measuring it, going, okay, this all has to line. And eventually I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do here. I don't know toaster strats. Then I went completely 180 and said, maybe I need a toaster oven. Maybe that's what people do nowadays.
Please
then I'm
tell
searching.
me you don't have a spreadsheet. Please tell me you did not
It
make a spreadsheet.
never made it to a spreadsheet. It never made it to a
Thank you,
spreadsheet.
Lord.
But we did go all around. There may or may not have been a Google search for toaster with Wi-Fi, because I thought maybe I could just do an app. I could sit here and it'll just toast it, whatever. But anyway, the bottom line is toasters are much more expensive than what I thought. And I didn't want to buy a $10 toaster and in a couple of years have it heated. So we actually, I bought a toaster. I bought a toaster. This wasn't a we thing. This was a me thing. Anybody else
I did not buy
would
a
have
toaster.
ordered the damn thing really quick. But it was, yeah, so I have
I
this
just
toaster.
go to Walmart, pick the first one. That's cheap.
Who knew there was like the construction of the electrical wire basket on the inside could provide unevenicity to both sides of the bread, and you can't have one light and one
Wait a
dark.
second. Time out. Is unevenicity a word? We need
It
to
is
bring
now.
it to
It
the
absolutely
videotape.
is now.
I need to know if that's an actual word
It
in
is.
the dictionary.
It 100%
Unevenicity.
is. It is 100% is.
I don't think unevenicity is a
Anyway,
word.
we will find out. We'll find out the even flow of the bread once I get the toast. I actually that's a good
Okay, sorry.
music. Yeah. Speaking of
Little
music,
segue.
little segue.
It's
But
a little segue.
we got the toaster. I do have the toaster.
Okay.
Those who are watching the VOD, the toaster's right back there. I can't get too into depth with it yet. We've got to do a dry run. I just took it out of the box. I haven't read the instruction manual yet to figure out how to use the toaster. So
If I find out that the toaster ends up with its own stream along with your chair, I'm gonna be a little pissed. I'm just saying.
toaster stream chair coming soon. So anyway,
What if the toaster catches your chair on fire, and then it's a whole thing?
do you know how long it took me to buy my PC? So anyway, this is
Oh,
I will let you know what happens with this toaster, and I'll fully
the
endorse it.
only thing I can confirm is trying to find restaurants and hotels. So yes, you are very incredibly detail oriented.
But you know what I'll do? I will link my Yelp page, and I will guarantee you someone will appreciate my Yelp page, because I leave very thorough and in-depth reviews of all the said restaurants that I've been to that are wonderful, and those that aren't that great.
And
I give
will
back
never
to the
remember their
community.
name or what I ate. I'm
The
like
secret-
a chaos. in this.
The secret strat is they give you gift cards. If you're near Chicago, I know we're way off topic. If you're near Chicago, go on Yelp, give an honest review, and you might get a gift card in the mail. That's all I've got to say. It's not why I do it. I do it to give back to the community for those people that help me
Have
find
you
great
used
meals.
that gift card? Inquiring minds want to
No,
know.
because I haven't been back, so I'm sure they're expired.
Okay.
I gave them away as a white elephant present. Is that what they do in Christmas time?
Here you go.
My
Go to
secret
Chicago.
My secret Santa gift is a $10
and eat at this place.
yeah, a $10 gift card for a hamburger at Louis in Fairview. Wherever that is. That's totally made up, by the way. If there's a Louis in Fairview, I'm sure you're a great restaurant. I would just pull that out of the weeds. Okay, anyway.
I'll take a gift card to Chicago.
Chicago.
Send it my way.
So there we go.
I love
There's
Chicago.
the L of the week. Maybe the L of the week was actually indicative of a greater problem, and it wasn't just the toaster.
Maybe we need to talk about your
little
OCD. I'm just saying.
Self-analysis here.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good. It
No.
serves the general public. It's probably your job requires you to be that organized.
It's something.
My
I
job
don't know.
requires absolutely zero organization in the
come on.
brains.
So anyway, there's no good segue to get out of. I've just got to get out of talking about the toaster and move on. So our topic of the week, main topic of the week. Let's get into this, because this daggone main topic of the week, I could talk about probably for 3 weeks without stopping. and it
Yes.
was it was
Speaking of OCD.
it was brought up by a distinguished member of our community who asked the question. It was Nez out there. I think we all know Nez if you're listening on one of the podcasts. N3ZNINE on twitch.tv. If you don't even know what Twitch is, just go there and watch the guy and thank me later. But anyway, he asked a question that says, to both of us, what is your favorite music genre and the best concert experience you've had? So that's a loaded question.
That's a big question.
So what we've done for this week, and Nez, for your question, I hope this will answer the question for you. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie it to a little old school, what we used to do, desert island disc kind of theme, where we're gonna pick out a few of our favorite albums and artists as well as concerts, and describe why they are meaningful to us, what makes them great, and there'll be great suggestions to the listening audience out there if they haven't checked them out.
I mean, it depends on your taste. They might be horrible suggestions.
Well, it's kind of like the diagonal sandwich things. These are all like mandatory listening.
Horizontal. Sorry.
Diagonal, there's no question they're great. There isn't. It's not like U2, where people who use iPhones love them and the rest of the world doesn't. I'm sorry, right. iPhone people. These are the best of the best. Anyway, we're having some fun, but we did try to come up with some of our favorite artists, favorite concert tours in memory, and we'll kind of go back and forth here a little bit. And I think I'll let you take the lead.
Oh dear.
Maybe we'll do a little one-on-one back and forth and see if we can keep it on time.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, okay. This is a very, very, like you said, loaded question, because first of all, I have a few decades under the belt.
Nice.
So there's a few decades stuck in here.
Yeah, because you can collect vinyl all the way back forever. So you collect many decades of vinyl, regardless of how old you are.
Yeah.
There you go.
My very first concert was in 1983. I was a high school student. This is not actually it's a great album, but I just have to throw this out there because Bruce Springsteen, I am from Jersey. So my very first concert was 1983 at what was then the Meadowlands, I think, or whatever the current Giant Stadium is. And I saw Bruce Springsteen put on like a 5-hour concert, and I was madly in love, madly and deeply in love with him. And I still am.
Wow.
He's not, I mean, it's platonic.
He has a beard.
But he's wonderful. But anyway, it was a phenomenal experience. But I was a young child while I was 15. But so anyway, you guys can do the math.
Do the math.
So yes. That was my first concert, and that was my introduction to live music. But we'll go back to the 80s. I guess we'll start with one of my absolute favorite artists, who is, she was in a band who probably most of you may or may not, mostly probably have not heard of, called Till Tuesday. She's my spirit animal. I love her deeply. Her name's Amy Mann, and she has an album. She's multiple albums, and a few of them are concept albums, but The Forgotten Arm is my favorite album. And I got to see her finally almost a year ago to the day. I got to see her live, and I was just smitten again, all over again. And she's phenomenal. She's a singer-songwriter. She writes all her own music.
Yeah.
And honestly, she's one of my incredibly brilliant songwriters. She's written a lot of songs that you probably know and don't know it's her, because she's done a lot of songs for film. But The Forgotten Arm is a concept album, and it's just so beautiful. And it's one of those things that we talk about when you talk about the desert island. If you were stuck, so you guys probably don't get all, not everybody might get all this. Like if you were stuck on a desert island, what album / CD would you bring with you? Those of us who started with vinyl and then moved on to
those people are now Googling what that is. What do you mean? Yeah.
Vinyl. I had vinyl first, and then it was tapes, which you had to put the little pencil through to when they got pulled out, to CDs, to MP3s, to now it doesn't matter. But if there's something really beautiful about listening to an album all the way through, especially when an artist has the ability to conceptualize, and yet each song is its own individual beautiful artistic piece.
Yep.
But somehow there's a string that connects them all. And I do believe earlier on that was a bigger deal. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I
Oh,
think
yeah.
there's artists that are doing it now, but earlier on it was a bigger deal because you would start an album. You're not like popping the little thing
Neither.
around because the needle, it's a pain and you have to get it right in the right spot. And, so. And then if you're into vinyl now, you understand. But when you put on a vinyl album, when you put on vinyl, you're listening to it start to finish, and then you're flipping it over and you're listening to the rest. So when I say front to back, these are the artists that I listen to front to back to front. And Amy Mann's The Forgotten Arm is only one of many of hers. It just happens to be my favorite. I just have a weird, visceral, lovely connection to it. It's heartbreaking and beautiful and in every possible way. And it is conceptualized. There is a story to it. And you figure out the story the more you listen to it. It's not immediate. It's not like it's in your face. It smacks you in the head like, this is my story. So I highly recommend her. If you want to just listen to one song from it, that's How I Know is one of my favorites. And I will say, and I will shout out, because I can do this like separately. One of my other favorite streamers and one of my favorite people from the Twitch community, Ty the Rogue, who has a beautiful little cat whose name is Orange, and I love Orange because every time I see Orange on screen, it makes my heart pitter patter. And a lot of times Orange has the little cone on because she must be having something going on, and there's a song that Amy Mann does, not from that album, but the name of the song is Goose Snow Cone, and it's about a cat that has a little cone on.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, and it looks like a snow cone. It's a little face for a snow cone. Anyway, so I'm just going to shout that out because that's a really sweet song, especially if you love cats and you can watch the video. Anyway, that's completely... I diverged a little bit, but...
No, but it shows the influence. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's amazing. I just adore her, and she's like her and I are the same age. So when I was in college, she was also the same age, but she was in a band and doing her thing, and she just has matured, and she's just fabulous singer-songwriter. That's the genre, but she was kind of alternative, I don't know, new wave 80s initially.
Yeah, she's multifaceted. I don't know a lot of her work, incredible. But I know of her work, and some of it through having met you, hearing some of it. And like you said, when you hear him, you say, "Oh wait, I know this song from somewhere," and it's her. And she pops up everywhere. She even popped up in Portlandia. She had a few episodes that she acted in Portlandia, which was hilarious. But
she's fabulous. She's just a really cool chick, and I want to be her. So we have the same first name, so I'm halfway there.
So there you go, halfway there. That's it.
Halfway there.
Man,
I'm so not cool.
So, in thinking about the question, and we kind of went back and said, we're really talking about, like you mentioned, albums front to back that you just listen to, that you wouldn't just normally just throw on a song from the album. When you do it, you listen to the whole thing. So that just got me thinking about the vinyl experience and albums and growing up and what it was like to have that vinyl there now where you unwrap it and you look at it. It's different in today's generation. Today's generation, they go into wherever they're going to buy their vinyl, their local record shop, an antique store, wherever it may be, and they've got their new wave turntable that now outloads everything into an MP3 file, and there's all kinds of technology behind it. So I think today someone will pick up a piece of vinyl, they'll put it on a record player, they'll go, "Oh, cool. Look at this. I love the artwork." And they may even slide out the sleeve and go, "Oh, here's all the lyrics. Let me read some of the lyrics. Let me see who produced it. Interesting." And then probably put it back on the shelf. When I listened to vinyl growing up, you didn't have any other information. You couldn't Google anything about the artist. You couldn't go to a record store and really ask anybody about it. When you had a piece of vinyl, that was the world of the music. So literally spent every second listening to the album, researching the vinyl and everything about it. Who's the producer? Who's the writer? Who wrote the songs? Oh, this is a cover song? Oh, that song was done by the Rolling Stones. Who are they? Let me go find out who they are. That's how you found out your information. So one of the earliest memories that I had with vinyl was with a band called Kiss, which I think everybody knows. And I'm not recommending Kiss as one of my favorite animals of all time, or favorite albums of all time.
You've been drying down.
and these aren't albums that I listen to now. I don't put a Kiss record on and listen to it front to back. But when talking about the experience, I wanted to share my very first experience of being near a record player and having an album in my hand was at my grandparents' house where I grew up. My aunt had a record player. She had a record collection. She was into Kiss. I break out this Kiss. I have no idea who Kiss is. There's an album called Double Platinum. Open up the album. The vinyl is silver, this bright silver, and it's got the metallic indentations on it. And when you open it up, it had pictures of all four of the dudes in the band. And they were embossed in silver. Yeah. And so I'd put it on. Detroit Rock City was the first song on this album. And the opening lick and the riff, you're like, I'm like, what is this? This is incredible. And so then I'm a little kid. I'm a little kid. So what do I do as a little kid? At some point when you're in school, I don't know why they choose graveyards, but sometimes you go to graveyards and you take your sheet of paper and you get a crayon and you put the crayon over the tombstone or whatever it is and it etches out. I don't know why we did it in a graveyard.
That's a weird thing that we did in the 80s. I don't know. 70s.
But anyway, I knew this strat. So I said, oh, cool. I'm going to do that with all four people in Kiss. So I just have this memory of listening to Detroit Rock City, taking my crayon, etching over Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons and Peter Criss and Ace Frehley, and praying that they did not come out the door, which led to my basement. Because I swore they had makeup on, they were kind of sketched, they had heels, had no idea what was really going on there. I only knew what I saw in the thing, and I just
they're a little scary.
They're a little scary, yeah, makeup driven. But anyway, that's kind of where I want to start the conversation from my end of just that album experience that I don't think you can have today. And it was a different era, and it was great. And so, and of course, they were influential on the rest of the music that I listened to all my life. So yeah, rock is definitely
my favorite. You would genre. So you get the album and you would take the little thing out, and then inside would be all the lyrics, and I'd just be like, oh my god, and I would just be like reading the lyrics. If you could get the lyrics from the inside, and all the liner notes and stuff, and especially if they had the trifold, those were the great. You're like, I got a trifold.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, score. You're like, pictures, liner notes, lyrics, boom. And I was like, this is the greatest, Queen, live Queen, Killer Queen live was just the most amazing. I think it was I don't know. I remember my brother.
It was multi, because I think it was 4. I think it folded out and then folded out again. Yeah.
And my brother and I were just fascinated. We spent hours, my brother and I, just sitting there trying to read, and everything was really small print. We're little kids. We're like, oh God, what does it say? Where did these lyrics go? Okay, why does he look that way? And it was life lessons. It was fabulous. And Queen is still, oh my God.
Well, this was for Kiss, it was 1978-ish, and when you slid out the second album, a little card came out with it, and it was like, yo, join the Kiss Army. Fill this out and send it back. And so luckily I took it. Yeah. And I remember my parents sent it out, and whatever, a couple weeks later or whatever, I got in the mail my double platinum thing that was Scott, member of the Kiss Army. I'm like, yeah. We're on our way, boys. We're on our way. Let's go.
I'm surprised your parents sent it and didn't be like, I'm sorry, son, that is not.
Well, that was quickly followed by, isn't this the Knights in Satan's Service? And what kind of music are you listening to? I'm like, yo, can I go to the Ozzy Osbourne concert? All right. So anyway, let me flip it back over before I go way off on
Ozzy Osbourne for later. Black Sabbath. Okay.
And we'll let you know we're going to go over an hour tonight, so just hang with us.
Yeah. So hang tight. Okay, I'm gonna be quick on this next one. Oh dear, no, I'm not. Wait, how many of these are we talking about? We can just go back to this another time too.
Let's keep going.
All right, so I will go with my app. I I have so many women I love. Brandy Carlisle, and I do love rock and roll, and I definitely am a little bit of a metalhead, and I also
True
love
story.
90s. Yeah, it's he knows. But I have to say I'm going with albums that I love and that really resonate with me. And Brandy Carlisle's Fire Watcher's Daughter is one of my favorites. I will listen
Oh
to it
yeah.
front to back. And she, yeah, which is like, I love my Brandy. So Brandy's one of the most amazing vocalists I've ever heard in my entire life. And so now we can talk about concerts. I did see Amy in concert. Brandy is the first, I mean, truly the one, the minute she opened her mouth and sang, tears went literally streamed down my eyes. I was there with my daughter and she was hot, I'm sure terribly embarrassed because she loved her too, but I was just like, it was just that reaction of hearing her voice. And I know, because you saw her at the Ryman, which I can't even imagine. I saw her at a beautiful old theater in Albany, New York. She's phenomenal. And anything you listen to by her, I can give you a million songs. Hit me up on Discord and I will give you ideas. She's one of the most beautiful singers and
Yep.
most deeply soulful singers, and her style is, I would say, folk country, and I do not like, and he will back me on this, country music is not my scene.
Mm.
There's just something about her that is so of this earth and just amazing and beautiful, and I cannot even say enough things about her. I could cry talking about her. I love her. So Firewatcher's Daughter, I would have to say front to back my favorite album,
Yeah.
but every album by hers, every song by her tells a story and it's personal and she's written them and her band's been with her since the beginning. She's just an absolute gem and I wish she was getting more notoriety in this world. I will see her. I would go to the ends of the earth to see her. We both watched multiple of her live concerts. I just don't even know what to say about her. She's phenomenal. One of the best live concerts I've ever seen. She's that good, and her band is that good. And you could probably chime in a little bit on that. I'll let you.
Yeah. So yeah, Brandy was not on my top albums list, but she ironically 100% is on my top concerts I've ever seen list. I've seen if there's a band that has a guitar in it and they came out between
Mm-hmm.
let's say 1980 and probably 2001, I've probably seen them at least once. I've been to hundreds of concerts. I have a spreadsheet that lists all the concerts. But anyway, you had told me about Brandy Carlisle. I only knew Brandy Carlisle from just a song that I had heard.
Yeah.
You actually had suggested it to me. She was performing at a festival. I forget which festival it was. And I tuned in and I watched a little bit of her performing at the festival. And I thought, wow,
Bonnaroo or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was something. I thought, wow, she's a performer. That's pretty good. And you kind of convinced me, like, you need to go see it. So Brandy did 7 nights at the Ryman here in Nashville, Tennessee, which the Ryman is a legendary church turned concert venue. I encourage anyone who visits.
Incredible acoustics.
Oh, the acoustics are amazing. The church pews
Some
are
of the
still
best in the
there.
world.
It's not
Yeah.
the most comfortable seating arrangement ever, but if you ever visit Nashville, go tour the Ryman. I promise you, it's great. It's inexpensive. You'll be blown away. Anyway, I was blown away. No clue what I saw that night, but she comes out and plays. I forget what the first song was, but it was a Firewatcher's Daughter song, and they came out and just blew us away. I'm like, this is like a closer, and we're 5 minutes into the show.
Yeah, you're just like,
The
it's every song
talent.
of hers.
They had an orchestra on stage that was like hinting at the music that was about to come, and then they come out, and she
so phenomenal.
said,
I recommend.
I think she does this in numerous venues, but she unplugs, and she's got brothers that play guitar and bass for her, who are her whole band is amazing. And she comes out and she says, I want to hear the acoustics in here. And so they unplug everything and they sing a song acoustically.
Acapella, yeah,
It was
man, it's
chills. And then at the end, she goes up to the upper deck in the balcony and she has, I don't know the correct terminology, but an old school radio microphone. And they did a song, just the three of them with a guitar that was like you were listening to an old mono record player from the 40s or 50s. It was insane. To the point where I will never miss a Brandy Carlisle concert if she's within a
Yeah.
100 mile radius. As a matter of fact,
No, I was.
we were actually going to go see Brandy before the pandemic hit.
Uh,
But that was
we
on
can't
our
talk about
list. Yeah, that was on our list.
we
We
had
actually were going to go
tickets.
see her. Yeah, we had great seats,
It was
but
gonna be amazing. We had great seats, great concert. It was gonna be amazing. Yeah, I've never cried through an entire concert behind hers, and I only cried not
I
because
get
the
it.
music's sad. It was so moving. I get why people cry, I guess, in church. I never understood when people cried in church and things.
Yeah,
It was to me like going to church. Hearing her sing is like
it
going to church. It
was.
was spiritual. It was beautiful, and I forever will love her. I cried when I listened to her live stream during the pandemic, so
Yeah,
multiple ones. So there
no,
we go.
no,
All
but
right, you can move
it
on
was.
to.
It was, but it had that uplifting experience. I know exactly what you're saying because I knew the lyrics of none of the songs. I knew none of the songs that she was doing. I think I recognized a couple. She may have done a
Yeah.
cover that I recognized, but and I had goosebumps. I didn't. I'm like I don't know
Yeah,
what to
she's
do. I'm
incredible.
energized. This is incredible. So yeah,
Yeah.
she is amazing. And I'm a rock and metal guy. I don't listen to a lot of other stuff, and she was just incredible. And the last thing I'll
Speaking of
say
rock and metal
is
guys.
before I get there, I do want to say that she's also incredibly supportive of the LGBTQ plus community. She
I-
does a ton for that community, which we fully
she
support.
does.
Yeah, and
We do.
yeah, she's amazing. So,
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. Tears to my eyes, man. I love her in every possible way. So
and you want
yeah.
me to go now? How do I switch to this band after that?
I'm
So
sorry.
I had my little segue going, and I was going to talk about music that I love. That kind of I guess a segue is it's music that you love that means something to you. And so
Hmm.
I'm going to give a shout out to what I quote unquote call the greatest rock band of all time. I don't really think they are. I'm sorry, guys, but I will always run with the joke. There's and people might laugh, but there's a band called Fall Out Boy, and they killed it during the emo age, during the early
Right.
2000s, whatever. But Fall Out Boy was just they were the band when I went back and hint at a later podcast when we were training for marathons and we started to run marathons. There were a few bands I listened to. There were Linkin Park, Papa Roach, whatever to get you motivated. But Fall Out Boy
Mhm.
was the go-to.
FOB represent.
They had I mean from Under the Cork Tree, that is an album that I can play just a song off of it and be happy. But if I'm
And
like I want to hear some Fall Out Boy, I put on Cork Tree front to back, start to finish. Every song is phenomenal. It's got the quintessential early 2000s rock guitar, interesting lyrics. I mean, it was just all together
super new
incredible
at the time.
experience. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I loved them. They were extremely influential to me when I put on my running mix and my headphones. They were like the first band that I put on that entire album. You're gonna
Yeah,
you're
me
gonna
too.
mention one of the other ones that I would also do that too.
I
But
am. I'm good. Mention
but that's kind of the next band that I'll mention, and I'll keep it short with them because, like I said, they're not. I joke that they're the greatest ever, and I'm not as much of a fan as some of their stuff, their last couple albums. But the Cork Tree album is sensational. If you're looking for an album from that time period, you can't go wrong. And I'm ever indebted to them for the music in my ears as I was cruising down the footpaths of a subdivision in Canton, Georgia.
I do feel like there's a weird connection there.
And I
We'll
will
just have
mention the very last thing that I'll mention is I'm going to get into concerts here in a second. Other than Brandy, Brandy was phenomenal and put on a show. And I think there's three sort of bands that you see in concert. You see the intimate club concert. You see a little bit medium sized concert that you're there because the person is awesome, and then you see the hockey arena, the basketball arena, or the stadium show, which is a spectacle. And Fall Out Boy fit into that number one scenario, that small club. I saw them in a small club in Atlanta, and they just killed it. They sounded perfect. Patrick Stump's vocals was amazing. I was hesitant. I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna sound that good live, but they put on an amazing show. So anyway,
I
done
didn't
with Fall
realize
Out
you
Boy.
actually saw them. Funny story. You'll
Yes,
have
you
to
did.
share that with me.
No, you knew
I
that.
did not.
You did
I
that.
did not know that.
Yeah, you did.
Nope. I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there.
I did not know you saw them. We'll just
Yeah.
have that chat later. I've seen them several times. I saw them back at oh my gosh, what was the festival? I was taking teenagers there. I was like overseeing 13-year-olds that were not my
Oh, the
kids at the time.
Warp Tour.
It wasn't Warped Tour. It
Okay.
was like Bamboozle
Bamboozle
Fest.
Fest. Yeah, yeah.
That's the first time I saw them. I did see them after that. I saw them with this band that I'm going to talk about next. The my favorite band. Well, recently, but Panic at the Disco. I have seen them, I do believe, 8 times. I'm usually
Nice.
the oldest person in the audience.
Nice.
I'm usually the oldest person in the audience, and I always know all the songs. I love Panic at the Disco, which is basically Brendan Urie, so we won't go there. Anyway, yeah, so Panic at the Disco. And my favorite album, which is actually a recent album, I know a lot of people disagree with me, is Pray for the Wicked. My favorite song is Old Fashioned, but I also like Roaring Twenties, and there's
Yeah.
every song's great, front to back to front. Great album. Another one I will listen to. I will just jam out to it, and I he's never puts on a bad concert. Panic at the Disco is
Yep. Yep.
always like at 100%. I've seen them with. I saw them. Let me think. I saw them with
At a
Fallout Boy.
small theater in Madison Square Garden.
I might have seen them with Small Theater at Madison Square Garden, which who opened for them? I want to say it was Muse.
That was My Chemical Romance in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, Muse opened for My Chemical Romance. Somebody opened for Panic at the Disco. I can't remember all the concerts.
They did, but I don't know if you don't know, but we didn't see the opening band.
I
So
still
anyway,
need to talk to you about Fall Out Boy, but we'll get back to that. I know I know you saw Pink, and I also know you saw 21 Pilots without me, but we won't talk about those either. It's all good. I am not bitter. I'm not bitter. But yes, so moving back, My Chemical Romance is also one of my favorite bands, and they're not probably making our list, I'm guessing, and they're actually one of my favorite bands ever. MCR forever. But Panic at the Disco, I've seen probably the most of any band I've ever seen. I think 8 now. So, yeah, love him. I'm not going to go on about it. He's got an amazing voice. There's some problematic things lately, so we're not going to talk about those. But I absolutely adore the music and every album. And moving on.
yeah, I think he is another thing to be said for Brendan Urie is the band has changed over the course of time. Where he started out, those guys are no longer in the band anymore. So, and that was the commercially successful band with the songs that a lot of people know, and he's kept it going and
Yeah.
is amazing. They don't have a bad album.
When I was training initially for early on for marathons, and you probably said the same, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance, when you're doing hours of running every day for weeks on end, those were the voices in my head. And then eventually it became 21 Pilots as well, and Papa Roach, and many other bands that I probably could just go on and on about. But those three, oh, The Killers,
Oh, the Killers,
another
yeah.
one. Who we almost saw, didn't make it.
That's a story for another
Another
day.
story, another day. But the Killers were another one. Those bands, they were in my head, and they got me through just interesting time in my life, difficult time in my life, and training for marathons. And we both ran a lot, and we both listened to the same bands at that time. And anyway, Panic at the Disco just stands kind of very tall in that,
yeah.
along with Fall Out Boy that you just spoke about, but also MCR, My Chemical Romance, 21P,
Oh yeah.
and the Killers. So we'll put them all in the same category.
We're sitting here, both of us, we're shouting out like 30 bands already. It happens when you start talking about this stuff. You can't just say one.
I can't just break it down. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I 100% agree with Panic at the Disco. Definitely one of those bands when running, super influential. They just not a bad album at all. I like their first album the best, but I do think the last album, the Pray for the Wick album, is sensational as well. So I agree. I think you're right on there. So in thinking about concerts, the next band that I'll mention, I think if anybody knows me, they know the last two bands that I'm going to mention. Second favorite band depends on the day. One of my most memorable times growing up was going to shows and then being so blown away by shows that you had to rent a van with your friends and go see them in all the adjacent states that they were nearby. So I've got it.
Not the Grateful Dead.
Here's where we move from small club show into more of an arena show, and a band who can put on an incredible performance. They're not just going to stand there and play their music. You're going to see a show. They have done everything from take a life-size replica of the Statue of Liberty and have it crumble on stage, to playing in the round in a octagonal shape where the where the lighting trusses and everything, actually the stage blew up and it destroyed all the lighting trusses, and you were allowed to stand on the floor right next to him as all this happened. And then the sound went out and they played one of their songs like old school style because the PA system was blown out. It was fake, but it's a show and they're sensational.
Yeah.
And it's Metallica, man. I grew up with Metallica, arguably tied for one of my favorite bands of all time. Everybody knows who the other one is. But one of my we literally said the Black Tour. It was called the Wherever I May Roam Tour, and that was on the Black album. My favorite album, like every Metallica album, I listen to front to back. But the one that I go to religiously, most people think, oh, Master of Puppets. No, actually, Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning is it's tough to pick one, but it's my favorite Metallica album. And I think it was just time period growing up, hearing that music, being blown away by it. I don't listen to just one song on it. I listen to it all the way through, repeatedly. I've done it forever. I will forever. And yeah, so that's one album that it'll stick with me. And I just remember this was the concert experience that I remember is not only just traveling to all these little cities with our little crew, staying in the little Motel 8s of the world and just drinking a ton of beer and being kids, but we saw him at the Omni in Atlanta. And this was before there was general admission seating on the floor. So at that time, that was unheard of. You don't just open up the floor and let people stand. You put seats down, and they're folding chairs on the concrete floor. So it was 5 songs in. The 5th song is Creeping Death of the set list. I can recite the entire set list to you of that tour. But the 5th song in, Creeping Death, all I know is that amongst the people who are then starting to stage dive and crowd surf, I start seeing chairs being thrown up in the air and getting yeeted over me to the back. And now I'm worried. I'm okay, something's going on. I'm going to get hit in the head with a chair. So number 1, jamming. Number 2, worried about being yeeted by a chair. So what do? Let's get rid of all the chairs. So within 30 seconds, all of us on the floor took all of these chairs that were wire tied together, just picked them up and just yeeted them over to the side. There's nothing that anybody could do about it. We piled up all the chairs on the side and now had an open floor, open pit, mosh pit, Metallica, Black Album, nothing like it. I'll never forget it. It was one of the greatest concerts I've ever been to. I remember it. I remember it. I just remember being there, seeing the whole thing. I remember things that Hetfield shouted out into the microphone, and it was incredible. And one other thing is I have a VHS tape of it before the show. It was an evening with Metallica. They didn't have an opening band. You don't open for Metallica in 1991. There is no way you can do it. So it was an evening with Metallica. Well, so what they would do is they would come out. They'd have this music playing, and like they'd come out onto the screen. It would be Lars in the back in the dressing room. He'd be like, "Hey guys, what's going on? You guys ready to see effing Metallica?" And the crowd would just go nuts. And that was the pre-show. You're just getting pumped to come see these guys come out. Well, they went out into atrium. They went out in the atrium with the cameras. I was on the camera. So I was actually on the pre-show thing of like people who were in the crowd going, "Yeah, Metallica," whatever you did at the time.
We all need to see that. That needs to be up.
I will find a way to get that VHS over. Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, okay. I told you I could do 10 hours on it. So I'll shut up about Metallica and I'll toss it back to you.
I don't think I can follow that. I think I'm just done for the day.
I can one up it.
I know. I'm like, it's nothing I say is gonna matter now. I'm done. I feel like there's just nothing more I can say. I feel like I'm done.
So nothing else matters? It's a Metallica song.
Nothing else matters. I
No,
know. Well, no,
no.
I know Metallica. I grew up in the 80s, 90s.
But I think you should. I think you should.
I mean,
You've got a current favorite artist that you've got an album on
I do
repeat.
have a current favorite. Yeah, but it's just so like this. We're like yin and I mean, it's definitely different. And I really love metal. Like you guys got to understand.
Oh
Like I
yeah,
was listening to Black Sabbath as a kid. And I like actually really like Metallica. But they're just not where I am in my headspace right now.
right, right.
So I will. Okay, fine. It's just gonna be so lame now.
No,
You just
but
stole all the thunder. I can't. Okay. So Lana Del Rey,
is
which
in
nobody cares about. So I will move through this quickly so we
is
can get to another story.
incredible. Is incredible.
She's amazing. She's amazing, and her new album, "Effing Norman Rockwell," is freaking the best thing ever. And I listen to it every day, and her and I are connected. She doesn't know it yet, and so yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I have not seen her in concert yet. I will. I will probably be like arrested for being a stalker or something. I love her. I know she's problematic. I understand that. So wherever we are in the community, I know she has problematic issues, but I just adore her writing. She writes her own music. She's incredibly just I don't know, soulful, and she's another one. So that's where I am now. I've gone through those phases. I mean, I am Pearl Jam. I loved Pearl Jam. I could talk about Pearl Jam for days, and
Oh, there's
every
another
other
one.
band in the
Yeah.
90s. I could talk music all day long.
Yep.
I rock out all the time. But I'm talking about what's speaking to my soul right now in this period of my time.
Yep.
And Lana Del Rey is truly just a goddess among humans, and we'll just leave it at that. If you want to, that is an album. It's conceptual. Most of her albums are actually, if you really start to listen to them, but also the songs stand up on their own. Hope is a Dangerous Thing is my anthem, and there we go. I'll just leave it at that. Move on.
Oh, no. But yeah, I feel like she's now. I'm not an avid Lana Del Rey listener. However, I appreciate what she's done. The stuff that I've heard that you've said, hey, check this song out. Check this song out. It's all really good. I feel like she's kind of peaking. Like now is the time. If you're ready to get into Lana Del Rey, now is the time to do it. That this may be her Sergeant Pepper's band, or, Lonely Hearts Club band kind of album. Like this is her peak, maybe. What do you?
This is her greatest album,
Yeah.
by far, in my opinion. And she's had some great albums. But thank you for appreciating her. Okay, you go on and talk about greater stuff.
It's not greater stuff. It's different. It's different experiences, and I'll keep it short. But my favorite of all time is Trent Reznor. Everybody knows this. 9 Inch Nails. I grew up with 9 Inch Nails. I've been with them since the start. One of the things that I remember about this album, now we're into the CD age. It's not vinyl anymore, even though you can still buy vinyl, which I went to lunch so 9 Inch Nails started with an EP, but then they came out with Pretty Hate Machine. They got a little bit of notoriety on that album. But then their first album after they started to make it was called The Downward Spiral. And so I love Pretty Hate Machine. I'm like, I've got to buy this album when it comes out. I told work that I needed an extra half hour at lunch, and the goal was we were going to Blockbuster Music. We're going to buy the vinyl. We're going to buy the CD so I could listen to it in both places, because that was before you could actually burn music onto a CD. So I had the CD for the car. I'd buy the vinyl for the house, and all I did was I bought it and just ran back to the car, put the CD in and sat, and I listened to it front to back and was blown away. And that's all I did the rest of the night, was listen to the album over and over and over and over again. The greatest thing that I've ever heard. I know it's controversial. It's not for everybody. That his style of music is not for everybody. I think
It's
people.
brilliant.
Yeah, I think people who
Brilliant.
don't like the music can probably still appreciate him as a musician. And he's now in his older age. He's doing a lot of soundtrack work. He's winning Oscars and Grammys and all kinds of stuff. He did the Social Network.
Brilliant musician.
Yeah, so Social Network soundtrack, the Watchmen soundtrack. That's all Trent Reznor. But anyway, the Downward Spiral was it. And I'm not going to go into the show because it could go for 4 hours. But there's a tour called the Self-Destruct Tour, which literally that's what it was. and it was him, the emotion that he put on stage, and the crew of people that he had to have run behind him to pick up like the microphones that he threw or the keyboards that he smashed or whatever was going on the stage. And I know he was I'm sure he was on some stuff, whatever. I don't condone any of that, but the power of what I saw at that time was amazing and blown away. So I think that's kind of concert wise. Those are it for me. The small clubs and the like. Give me a show. Give me a production.
Yeah.
And the bigger arenas.
I know you. What did you like that we saw together? We've seen a lot of shows together. We've actually seen a bunch of shows together. What was your favorite show that we watched together?
We've seen epic shows, and I think one of the more epic shows we've seen that, looking back at it in time, was probably more influential than what we may have thought it was. Is we saw the Black Parade tour. We saw the My Chemical Romance Black Parade tour, ironically in Nashville, Tennessee, and that was a show and a half. And there was a small band called Muse that opened up for them, and we were like, "Yeah,
little tiny band.
Who are these guys? Whatever. They've got nothing on My Chemical Romance."
I'm gonna go get another double on the bar.
That is what happened. But that show was amazing. Yeah, all right, they're all right.
But they did, because Black Parade was also a concept album, and they did play it as such for the most part in character, and it was really amazing.
It was start to finish in character.
In character, really brilliantly done, and those Jersey boys, man, love them. Love My Chemical Romance. I had to, get them in there, wiggle them in. I knew you were going to say that, and we did not discuss this before.
We did not discuss it before. It was
epic. It was epic, and I'm so glad I saw them in their peak, and I'd like to see them again if the pandemic ever ends.
Heck yeah! And it was like you said, it was the album front to back, and once the album was finished, they came back out, and then they did a lot of stuff off of Three Cheers and all the songs that I'm Not Okay, all that kind of stuff. And after seeing the Black Parade performed live, start to finish, now you're so pumped up. That was unbelievable. And definitely,
we were down front and center with the kids.
we were
a lot young. A
little bit younger. Yeah,
a little bit younger. We were in our. I don't know how old we were.
We were there. Yeah, we were there. It was
40?
May or may
we
not.
Thought we were old then. Hell, I was young then.
May or may not had headaches the next day. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I will see MCR. I will see them again.
100%.
One of my favorites.
100%. If you have a chance.
Broadway. Yep. Another one of my spirit animals.
Yep.
I have many spirit animals. He's one.
So,
okay.
Man, how do we segue out of that? And Nez, I hope that answers the question.
As you opened a hornet's nest, we could come back to this because there's at least 10 other for each of us and multiple other concerts for each of us, and we could revisit when we have absolutely nothing else to talk about. So thank you.
Thank you, Nez.
And there were so many great Q&A questions, but I feel like we went way over time and you guys are gonna be sick of us, so we can zip out of this.
We're gonna zip out. I think what we'll do is we got our show recommendations that we normally do every single week. We're still gonna do that, and then we're gonna pick. We've got one question we're gonna answer. We got a lot of Q&A questions for this podcast. We're gonna answer one.
Thank you guys. That's awesome. Yeah.
Do not fret. We will. And all we did, we took them in order. So we took the first one. So we couldn't pick, but we will answer the rest of the questions we have on the future podcast. So thank you guys. Keep sending them in because we love to see them. And it's great when they tie in with themes that we want to talk about too. So it makes it kind of easy. Anyway, let's go into shows. We got a music theme this week. So I think we've both seen a couple shows. One we've both seen. One I haven't seen yet, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. What do we recommend music wise for shows to watch?
The Ozzy Osbourne documentary. I think it's called 9 Lives or something. It was amazing. I was a huge. I worked in this little like 5 and dime store when I was in middle school, like early high school, and I picked up a Black Sabbath album because it was. I probably stole it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Nobody was buying it. It was like a box or something. I was like, oh, I'll take this home. It was. I probably paid $1 for it. And it was like in the little bin, and I was like, Black Sabbath, what? And I was like obsessed with Ozzy Osbourne at that time. So then I kind of got into Ozzy Osbourne a little bit, and so anyway, moving forward, I watched the documentary and it was actually really beautifully done and it really tells his story. And I learned a lot about him I didn't know. Highly recommend it.
Hmm.
Even if you're not a child of the 80s like I am, if you are just anything interested in Black Sabbath, if you like Ozzy Osbourne's music, he's a god in his own right. I mean, he's not a perfect god, but he's a god. He's had his issues, but it was definitely phenomenal. Highly recommend. Entertaining as hell, and I would anyway. That's my reco for this week.
Nice. I like it. And yeah, I would not expect. I don't know why. I guess I think it's interesting that an Aussie doc would be so awesome because I think a lot of his life is public, but I think also there hasn't been
I don't think
yeah, a lot of what he's been through in his story has not been out in the
no.
public. Like you don't get the
I
deeper
think
stuff.
there's what you thought you knew, and then what there really was, and that's all I'll leave it at because I don't want to give anything away.
Oh, nice.
I would say there's a lot you really didn't know about him. And a lot, I thought I knew a lot about Ozzy because I was a huge fan. And truly, it was eye-opening and heartwarming and also sad and sort of upsetting. And there's just so many emotions that go on with watching that doc. I would say it's really worth watching. He lays it out and Sharon lays it out in a very human way.
Oh, nice.
And it's really brave. I would say it's a brave documentary. It is definitely not a candy coat. This is Ozzy and I'm this great father. It's not that at all. It's definitely all the human issues that go along with being Ozzy and
Right,
us.
right.
Yeah, humanity.
Awesome. Interesting.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I literally think it was the best documentary I've ever seen in the last 6 months, which says a lot because I watch a lot of documentaries.
Yeah. It's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a documentary
Yeah.
fanatic.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
really loved
Good.
it.
I think my recommendation is one that we've both seen, but it really goes back into the music industry over the course of the last 30-ish years, right up into today. It's called The Defiant Ones. It was on HBO, so I know if you have HBO, you can see it. It's probably on other platforms by now. I'm not sure where it's all at. Yeah, I think it's a 4-part. It's either 4 or 6-part series, but it's really the story of Jimmy Iovine, who is a notable record producer and grew up in the industry, grew up earning his due, starting out just, hey, walking into a place that records music and say, can I like empty your trash? And up until modern day where he's working with Dr. Dre, producing the Beats series microphones and how all of that came together. And they would sit in a car and go, wait, it doesn't sound right here. We need to adjust. Okay, it doesn't sound right here. And there was this story, if you like Tom Petty, if you like Stevie Nicks, if you like Nine Inch Nails, if you like Eminem, if you like Bruce Springsteen, if you like Dr. Dre, if you like any of those bands.
He's had his hand in all of those.
All of them. NWA. I mean, it's crazy.
Shocking.
Crazy story. And it's just this well-produced, amazing ride story of this guy. Yeah. It's just, yeah, you'll be shocked at the stuff that happens. And again, I think it's one of these ones kind of like Ozzy that you've heard stories about all of these other people, but you had no idea of how some of those songs got recorded, why they got recorded.
Yeah. The history of the rock and roll movement, it goes so deep, and there's so many layers, and Jimmy's just one of those layers. Ozzy's one of those layers. I recommend just going back, and watching both of those, but there's so many other ones.
Yeah, 100, you're 100% right. And Jimmy's somebody that I would not have originally said, oh, this guy's been in everything. I didn't kind of really even know who he was until a few years ago. So I feel ignorant now saying that, but yeah, that's amazing.
We were like, who's this guy?
But
Why
I think
is he important?
He's on the production side, so sometimes those guys get a little less notoriety. I mean, when you're talking about Dre and Snoop, you're talking about Dre and Snoop. You're not talking about the guy who was pulling the boards behind them. So,
right.
Anyway.
No, it was me.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. Great questions. Sorry we were just blabbering on. I hope you guys enjoyed this.
We're gonna
we could talk music. We are both huge music fans, and we've seen a lot of concerts in our decades, or combined. We won't say how many decades together.
Yeah.
Although I appreciate the decades, you know, all these 5 decades of my, I've seen a lot of different.
I appreciate going through what we've gone through, from the 8-track vinyl era all the way up until now, and appreciating
Yeah,
that, when we were growing up, we were spoon-fed music. We were spoon-fed the bands that were picked by the artists, and we just went
yeah,
to our record store and bought what was there. Today,
it's true.
you can go anywhere, and now you've got, when somebody says, when you say, "Hey, what's that song?"
Right.
You've never heard of the band because they pulled them off of SoundCloud, they pulled them off of YouTube, and it's such a wonderful environment for music right now. But I'm really glad that
It's a
we
more
went
inclusive
through that.
environment for music.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
you know, having our relatives walk in and say, "Hey, I got this album," and hearing, yeah, Elton John. I could have talked about Elton John, you know, all night, and we have some other questions we could talk about, you know, that we're going to use later. But just having these things where I would sit as a little kid with my little record player and just trying to write the lyrics down if I didn't have the lyrics on the liner notes and the pages, it was just amazing. And I do feel that we have an appreciation that you guys can just get everything and then we can get everything. I love that I can get everything. I could just go
Oh
read the
yeah.
lyrics immediately. Google, hello, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
Lady Gaga, you and I, what are the lyrics? Because I love that song. Shout out to Lady Gaga. But yeah, I mean, it's just anything. So really cool. It was really cool to kind of go down memory lane on the music starting from the 80s till now. I think we pretty much covered it
I think we
for
did well.
briefly, a little brief coverage of
A
it.
brief coverage.
So
We may return to it at a later time because
we will
it's a little more in
probably
depth.
return because there's so much more to cover. But thank you guys, man. Thanks for listening to us ramble. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we didn't even get into Zed. I'm hurt. So we've got to have a part two of that. I
We've
love
not.
Zed. Okay, anyway,
I
so we're gonna go off the rails. We're gonna do one question. You guys send in a bazillion questions. We love it. We will
know.
get to them. We only have time for we're gonna pick one tonight. We picked the first one that was on the list. I think it's kind of fun, a fun way to end up the show
Yeah.
tonight. It is from Broxy Pants out there.
I
Broxy,
don't know if
thank you
she's
very
still with
much.
us.
Yeah, I don't know if she is or
Thanks,
not.
Roxy, if you're still hanging, babe.
But she says, this one's for both of us. In honor of the return of the Bachelorette, what is your what is your guiltiest of TV pleasure?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
The Bachelorette is back.
I didn't even realize it.
I didn't
How
either.
did I not know? Yeah, I like trash TV. So, guilty pleasure. I would say my guilty pleasure TV right now would be anything that is reality crap TV that's garbage that doesn't give me nightmares at night because everything else is giving me nightmares. Like the world is giving me nightmares. I
Right,
just
right.
need to watch garbage TV. And he knows this. I just want to watch crap. So and it's not actually necessarily bad TV, but I do like Survivor, Amazing Race,
Yeah, yeah.
Indian, what is it? Indian matchmaking? Indian matchmaker? Indian
Indian matchmaking.
matchmaking.
Yeah, the one on Netflix. Yeah, I know
Yeah, I don't
exactly what you're talking
watch
about.
the
Yeah.
stuff you guys watch. And The Bachelor/Bachelorette. I have been known to tune into that. You know, HGTV, anything. Guys Grocery Games, Guy Fieri. Oh, Guy Fieri, man, that guy.
We've
Yeah, so
we've partied with Guy Fieri.
we may
Story
have
for another
partied
time.
with
We
Guy
may have
Fieri.
partied with Guy Fieri before. It's a true
We
story.
might have.
It's a true story.
We've partied with a few celebrities, so we'll save those for another time. But yeah, Guy, yeah. Anyway, there we go. What about you?
Who's cool? Whether
Probably-
like the guy or not, try not to get off
Totally.
topic. He's one of the coolest like
He's a
celebrity people.
sweetheart.
He's
Yeah.
so nice. He's so nice. Like I was like, oh man, and I'm like, oh
He's gonna be a
man, this
dick.
guy's awesome.
He was not. He's the nicest guy in the
He
world.
was super
Anyway.
nice. No,
Sorry, Fred.
I mean, I will tell you my guiltiest pleasure. I like a lot of the same shows that you do. I love the reality TV. I don't do the Housewives and all that kind of stuff, but the
No, I don't
Survivors,
either.
the Amazing Race. I'm a Big Brother junkie. I watch Big Brother every single time. Shout out to Big Brother for yeeting the sex and the hookups and all that crap that plagued it through its middle years. It's gone now. So anyway, I think my guiltiest pleasure happened just a couple years ago. For whatever reason, when this show was originally on, I did not watch it. I'm like, I'm not watching the show. It's garbage. I think the people are stupid. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, and I don't care about it. I don't know what happened, but for some reason, I got intrigued after the show had ended. And one day I said, well, all right,
Oh, I know where you're going.
I'm gonna watch it and see what it's all about. And then just binged watch it before binge watching was a thing. And now I'm not saying I gym tan laundry, but GTL is definitely part of my vernacular. I will say we've got a situation. I may follow DJ Pauly D on Twitter. I'm not a Snooki fan. I don't like most of the girls on there, but I've followed Jersey Shore, and I swear to you, I'll be 100% honest. If it's late at night and I'm just kind of flipping channels of TV and Jersey Shore is on, I'll sit there and watch it like I've never seen it before. I don't know why.
You're killing me, man.
I don't recommend it
You're
to
killing
anyone.
me.
I recommend it to no one. But for some reason, I watch it and I'm entertained by it. I don't, like I said, they're not likable characters to me. But yeah, that's probably the guiltiest of guilty TV pleasures.
The worst thing about that show is it really hurt people like me who actually live in
because
Jersey.
those people are not from the Jersey Shore. It started out being a show about Guidos, like the Italian community. And if that's a derogatory word, I apologize, but that's what they wanted it to be called when it first came out. And then they switched it because of production thing, and they ended up on the Jersey Shore. And I've been to the Jersey Shore, and that's not what the Jersey Shore is like. The Jersey Shore is
stop.
Well, that part of the Jersey Shore I haven't been to.
There's that part of the Jersey Shore, and it is.
And then there's the good part.
I know. I'm gonna have to get into my Jersey accent for a second. So that part of the Jersey Shore definitely exists, and I've definitely seen it, and I don't love it, and I hate being associated with it. But yes, I am from Jersey, and it sucks that I have to deal with that sort of Monica. So yeah, I ain't no Snooki baby. So
God.
It was really difficult saying, especially, I don't know how, was it 20 years now? I don't know.
It was a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, I just feel like I was always saddled with, you go to I spent a lot of time at the Jersey Shore, and I don't talk like that. That's not what I do. I don't do this. But it is what it is. Yeah, welcome back, Jersey Amy.
And I don't like the new ones. I haven't watched any of the new ones. Whatever.
But most of them are not actually from Jersey, which is very disrespectful to those of us who actually are from Jersey.
Yeah, they're not from Jersey at all.
I find it a little disrespectful. I'm just saying. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it off stream. We can talk about how disrespectful it is that they're mostly from Long Island. They're mostly from Staten Island, which is disgusting. So yeah, we're not going to have this conversation now because we could just go on for another 2 hours, and we're not doing that. But just leave it to me. Trust me. That ain't the Jersey Shore that I knew growing up. So anyway.
That's amazing. Well done. Well done. And I will say to get off of that topic, if there's something else that I'm guilty of, like ridiculousness on MTV, I love Rob.
Oh
Dyrdek.
my gosh! I adore ridiculous.
That's what I'll watch now. Mostly it's YouTube and Twitch and whatever. But if I'm gonna just get off the computer and watch, Ridiculous is on 24/7. So I'll watch it.
Rob Dyrdek,
he's funny. To
a
me.
little CeeLo Green.
And that's it. And that's it. Rob and CeeLo. Yeah, that's all.
Definitely.
But no,
right,
great. We do. Great question, Broxy. And there are more great questions out there. I can't wait to get to them.
Yeah.
Shout out, Broxy.
Love you, girl. I don't know if you're still hanging with us.
All right. With that said, as you mentioned, we've went way long. We appreciate the fact that you're still here and still listening. We'll be back on schedule next week. But music,
so with us, we love you so much.
We do. Music is something that we're passionate about. Like I said, we could have a bazillion episodes about it. I hope you found this entertaining. I hope maybe you got some record or concert suggestions, and I hope you had a little bit of fun. Again, took a little bit of time out of your week. Got your mind away from what's going on. We're cruising into Friday. It's almost weekend time, so cheers to you guys for the weekend. With that, we'll wrap it up. We'll be back again very soon with episode 5. Who knows what that may contain, but it will definitely contain some more fun, some more good times, and we hope that you come back and join us again. You can find us on all shenanigans. You can see us
Shenanigans.
on all the
Doing some
podcast networks.
shenanigans.
Shenanigans. I can't even remotely do a
Shenanigans.
Jersey accent. But we're on all the major platforms. You can see us on twitch.tv. On my channel, it's Gojo262. And we would love to have you hang out with us live. So if you ever want to see one of these done live, come on and watch us. We're on at 10 p.m. Central Time every single Wednesday. If not, the podcast gets uploaded usually by Friday of the week if you want to listen to it that way. So again, we thank you for being here. We hope everyone has a pleasant rest of their week and into the weekend. And we hope that you come back soon for the next episode. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Love you. We so well.